Good afternoon, East Goshen. Hope you're having a great Thursday. It is a beautiful sunny day outside, so get out and enjoy the weather before it turns back to snow. I would be outside myself for this reflection if the wind were cooperating, but here we are. We're going to work our way through Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and then I'll get outside and enjoy the sunshine. So, like I said, end of chapter 2 here. Remind you where we were on Tuesday. The teacher has talked about his own accomplishments, that he was the greatest king over Judah. He was more accomplished than any ruler in his day and age, and yet it was all meaningless because his legacy and his name will pass over time. He cannot sustain his own remembrance throughout time. Only the plans and purposes of God, which are eternal, will withstand the ravages of history. And so he turns his attention now to work, and he asks the question, what was it all for? All of this work that I've done, remember, this is work outside the Garden of Eden. It's a fallen creation that we live in. And so one of the curses of the fall was that work was supposed to be difficult. The soil was not as easy to till, the ground was not as easy to cultivate in order to produce crops. Creation itself is broken as a result of our sin. And so the teacher is remembering that this is a post-fall world and saying that toil is difficult, and what is its purpose in life? The work that we do, what is it all for? He looks back on a lifetime of work and says that it was utterly meaningless. Because although he has acquired fame, fortune, and renown for who he is, the teacher realizes that none of that can come with him after he dies. You work and you work and you work, and if your aim of work is to acquire more, ultimately that's empty and void in the grand scheme of life. Because what do you have at the end of a lifetime of work and achievement but a collection of things that will become the inheritance of someone else? So he says, what is the point of work? It is work for its own enjoyment. Look with me at chapter 2, verses 24 and 25, where he says, a person can do nothing better than to eat and drink and find satisfaction in their own toil. This too I see is from the hand of God, for without him, who can eat or find enjoyment? This is not ceaseless activity just for the sake of working. This is not working just because we can. This is receiving fulfillment from a lifetime of striving as a gift of God. This is finding fulfillment in our own hard work, our own efforts to become excellent at the things that we do. We receive a gift from God that is enjoyment of our work. It's this understanding that work is blessed by God, not because we strive harder and harder, but because we put everything that we have into it and seek to find meaning in the work that we do. It is not empty and void. This is one of life's pleasures, one of the gifts that God gives to each and every person. And so here in chapter 2, the teacher says, value the work that you have, the ability to make a living, the ability to be excellent at the things that you do. It's the same idea that Paul picks up on in the New Testament, where he says, whatever you do, work as if you were working for the Lord. It is a calling to be excellent at the things that you have chosen to put your mind and your body and your efforts to. And in the end, God blesses that effort and gives us satisfaction in the work that we do. More than that, he gives us the simple pleasures of life, good food and drink, and a day that is spent in hard labor, at the end of it that we can rest, knowing that we have done everything that we can to make the world a better place because of our efforts. So this is a valuing of work. It's a good theology of work. And so as you reflect on your own efforts, on what you put your mind and heart to in this life. How are you finding fulfillment in the things that you do? Are you taking away the simple pleasures of a job well done, of good food and good drink and time spent making the world a better place around you? Are you striving for excellence in everything that you do? Because this, as the teacher says, is a gift of God for us to enjoy. So how are you finding enjoyment in the things that you put yourself to? Thank you for joining me. I will see you on Sunday, hopefully for worship, as we continue through our sermon series. And if I don't see you Sunday online or in person, make sure to tune in next week for our devotional videos. Thanks. Enjoy the sunshine outside and have a great rest of your week.